Macalister River. It's one of the most scenic rivers that we have in the whole of West Gippsland, and when it's nice and peaceful like this, it's a beautiful, tranquil place. And during a flood it would be over my head, well over my head here, and charging down through here. So the reason that we focused on this site in particular was the community values. You know, the main road to Licola is only a couple of hundred metres over there, and we were worried that it would be taken out by the river in future flood events. And being the only road in and out of the valley, it raised its profile. So during our flood recovery process, we prioritised over 100 sites for work, and this was probably one of the bigger ones. So it involves the timber pile fields, the rock beaching, fencing, revegetation, weed work, design. It's quite a big project.
It started off with some rock beaching, which you can sort of see down along there. An excavator come in and prepared the site, and then we cut in roughly, by memory, I think around about 900 cubic metres of rock, and that formed the rock beaching along the bank. Then it was marking out wherever the actual pile field was meant to go, and from there it was a 29-tonne machine with a huge vibrating plate on it. It probably lasted a bit over a week, and considering that as the poles you actually see are roughly 2 metres out of the ground and 4 metres in the ground.
So the pile fields have this sort of 50% permeability, so half the water comes through, can slow down. We've also got probably 2 hectares of revegetation here, so it's small little trees that are going to be able to establish better because the water's slowed down. Once those plants become established, then they'll provide further protection. So some of these plants will become, you know, big trees in themselves, like bigger than these pile fields. So that slows the water down further, traps more sediment, traps more logs and debris, and gradually builds up this pathway so that the river stays where it is. The vegetation is a long-term protection. So without this 2 hectare patch of revegetation establishing over the next 20 years, we wouldn't have invested into the pile fields.
I've been here for 6.5 years now, and West Gippsland Catchment Management were one of the first external organisations I dealt with on my arrival, because the riverbank was quite badly damaged at that time. But ever since I came here, the West Gippsland Catchment Management have always been coming up in one form or another to discuss what our needs were. And we've had an amazing amount of river rehabilitation done, which has essentially protected the infrastructure on our site.
Yeah, it's not too hard to travel up here, and great bunch of people up this way. And even though there's not a huge amount of people up the valley, but they've all been quite good to work with. And a lot of the contractors have come from this area too, so they have good support with the landholders. Well, they're locals themselves, and they do an excellent job.